Hello, everyone, and welcome to call number one of creating an online business. I hope you can hear me well. And today's call is about what are my options. So the purpose of these two calls is actually get you somewhere to start it, especially if you are considering to have an online business or you've been kind of doing online business, but it doesn't really go anywhere. And I kind of know where you might be if you are in that place, because before I started my online business, I was one of those people who actually constantly was reading about stuff, how to do things, and I kept telling people that I'm starting in and doing it, but I actually never really got anywhere. There was so many like information out there. Where could I start, and what shall I do, and where do I go? That I never really started it, and so basically, few years ago, well, I kind of doubled, and I was doing something. I was helping other people to build their online businesses, but it wasn't really my business because I wasn't really making money, and it wasn't really regular thing. It was something I was just, I knew how to do it, so I was just doing it. And then at one point, I actually found a job online. So it's basically was like a paid job. Like every month, they kind of paid me. No, they paid me actually weekly. And so this is where I actually started to like work properly online and with like a regular paycheck. And even if you don't really have like a business idea or something, this is something where you can actually start as well. Basically, it's like an employment, but you work online. And that is especially good for people who are living in the areas where there are not many job prospects. So for me, it was kind of necessity to create a business online, or at least to have a job online, because I used to live in United Kingdom, and in 2014 I actually moved back to Latvia, and I moved in with my parents for the first year. And my parents lived in the area with, well, basically they lived on the countryside. There is no really much going on around, and the nearest kind of village was place with 1,000 people. And if you know anything about Latvia, if you live somewhere where only 1,000 people, there is not much going on. There are no even pub or a bar to go to in evenings. There's just basically people living there. They have one or two shops, and if you're lucky enough, there is a petrol station and some like mechanics, people fixing your cars. And so pretty much if I wanted to find a job in the local village, my options were really limited. And so actually for the first 3 months I actually did work in a petrol station, where the employees needed replacement for the holidays. So basically they were going on holidays, as they needed someone just to cover the shifts for those first 3 months. So that's what I did when I first moved to Latvia. And even when living in UK, I used to read a lot. I used to go to different trainings, online and offline trainings. And my first introduction was with, I don't know if you know someone called, what was his name? I don't know, but people pretty much know him as a laptop millionaire. And he actually wrote like a really good book called, I think it's called the same. I don't have it on my shelf. No. I think it was called Laptop Millionaire, and he basically shares different ideas how you can start building your own business in the. And I actually kind of recommend you to that book. It has lots of good ideas. And when I actually first read it, I didn't get past first chapter, because even in the first chapter I got idea and I just went with it. And I created my first monthly newsletter for one of my clients. He was a property investor. So basically for, I don't know, how long did we do it? Probably about a year we did create monthly newsletter covering all the property news and stuff. So that was my beginnings. And when I after those 3 months in petrol station, I realized this is not what I want to do. And I started to look for options to work online from home. And I found a regularly paid job online through Upwork. So if you are actually freelancer and you have like different skills for that, you can do translations, you can do writing, copy, graphics, all sorts of things. You can actually find lots of good ideas in something called Upwork. I will mention it in the email. And so, and I did that work for about 3 years, no less than probably 2.5, maybe 3 years. And until I couldn't do it anymore, it just wasn't for me. I really liked the regular paycheck. I really liked that I can actually do it from anywhere, because the time I was working for them, I actually lived for a few months in Portugal and a few months in India. So that kind of was like a really good job. Only thing I didn't like was job itself, because I had to work 40 hours a week and I really didn't like it. Well, it was good at the first, but after 2.5 years sitting day in, day out by computer and not really seeing much, it wasn't for me. So I quit, and I created basically my own kind of job. That's where I started. I actually made a list of all the things that I can do. It was email marketing, graphic design, websites. At the time, it was a WordPress site. It was because I was working for the Access Consciousness Certified Facilitators. So another thing I added to my list was kind of doing clearings, transcripts, audio editing, basically anything I could do. And this is a place where you can start as well. If you are not, because it's still your business, and your business is going to be something that you can do, like, because you have to start somewhere, and you have to start somewhere with what you know at this moment. You can't start like, if you are gonna think that to become a graphic designer you have to become this and that person, it will take you first of all time to get to that place. Like, if you think if you can't be a graphic designer because you have to know Photoshop, you have to know how to do this thing and that thing, and you're never actually gonna get anywhere, because you're still gonna keep putting it off and thinking that you don't know where to start and how to start. And start with what you like. Like, for example, if you are into gardening, if you are into animals, if you are into like a dressmaking, you can start there. You can start I don't know, making videos of these things. I'm kind of going into the next week's topic of where to start. But this is basically as well, like, I'm just saying you, because sometimes people just don't know what their business could be like. Well, 2 years ago I didn't know my business is going to be what it is now, but this is where I actually started. I started with what I have now, and this is what I have built into, because I actually experimented with different things. I actually added few things, removed few things, and so yeah, you basically have to start where you are now. So what do you know now? What's your interest? What do you like doing? What things and like? Because you can create any topic into the product. Because if you just look online, especially on YouTube, you can find people doing businesses in all sorts of weird and beautiful places and with all sorts of weird and beautiful things. So I would recommend you to make a list of all these things. But so what are your options? Like options are like if you're really looking for something to do online to make money online, especially if you are living in the remote area. Uh, Again, make a list of all the things that you have seen online people doing. Like for example, if you are building access consciousness business, uh, you can do things like access bars, but that is like offline thing that you can't do online, but you still can create a business online because that's where you can find most of your clients probably. Even if you are living in a small town, building business online, it's kind of gonna put you on a map because people who are living in your town not necessarily gonna know that you're doing something unless you are actually going with the loudspeaker into the streets and shouting from the rooftops that you're offering bars and bars is this and that, or you put like a big flashy poster somewhere in the what's it called, supermarket or something, because you have a higher chance to get more clients even in your local area if you are kind of vocal in social media, because local places have like Facebook groups, they have WhatsApp groups, you can go for the meetings and things like a networking meetings, that's again offline thing. But there are so many options that you can do even if you have a offline business. And then if you have done COP, then you can start doing telecalls like up to 4 hours for facilitation. You can do consulting services, especially, and you can do consulting services with any type of topic. Because there are people outside who likes what you do, but they don't know what you do. Not that they don't like what you do, but they don't know how to kind of progress in it. They don't have your knowledge. Like if you do gardening, if you do dog grooming, if you're a car mechanic, if you are the same access consciousness practitioner or facilitator, you can do consultation on any topic. You can help people how to build their gardens, where to grow stuff. And these are the things you can actually do online. I would just write down consultations. You can do consultation online. You just need to set up a system to make it more automatic, especially if you want to get more clients and you don't want to do it all manually. But even if you just start with, you basically need, that's again, I'm going into the next week's topic, but that's okay. You basically need a landing page to do something, and you need an email address, and you need some on the phone, so people can actually get in touch with you. And even though I think it's enough if you just create Facebook page and you just share with people that this is what you do, and if you do like consultation on something that people can do in physical world like gardening or or dog grooming or anything like that, you just basically show them your work. Like, or if you're a hairdresser, even that you can teach people how to do online or consult how they can become greater hairdressers. And if you're an artist, you can consult people on how to choose like colors or paints or brushes or materials, and how to actually, don't know, practice something, how to build your art business. Like pretty much the options are endless. And the same comes with the coaching. Consulting and coaching is slightly different, but you can do both online very well on any kind of topic. With what's the difference between consulting and coaching? With consulting, you can actually tell people what they need to do. Like if they, let's say they're doing, they want to build a permaculture garden, you basically can help them, tell them what plants they need to choose, what kind of soil they grow better, and how to recycle things and things like that. But if you are doing coaching, it's slightly different. It's because the coach leads person to where they want to go with asking questions. They don't tell them what they need to do. They ask them question that leads person to the answer. And it's slightly different than facilitation, that what Access certified facilitators do. But coaching is as well really great option to do. Like if I was coaching, for example, people how to create their online business, on the first session, we, for example, would set up like targets. Like let's say our coaching program is 3 months, and so on basically on the first session, we would talk about what they want to reach in those 3 months. And all these 3 months is actually working towards that target or goal. And yeah, so that's a different. You work in consultation, you tell people what they need to do. In coaching, you basically, with their questions, you lead them to the required target. What other options? Other options is affiliate business. If you don't know what affiliate business is, it's basically, affiliate business is where you promote someone else's product and you get paid for it. There are lots of people in the world who actually have this as their main business. And if you type something online, like how to do affiliate business, how to get affiliate products, you basically just gonna find information there, and it's really ready available. And you can promote people's classes, books, courses. It's usually on digital products. Everything that people can get that's downloadable. That's usually affiliate business. Uh, there are things like on the books. Uh, Amazon has their affiliate program, and you can actually sign up for it and promote their products. And there are lots of people who actually make a decent money out of that. And obviously, you then need to create different platforms where to promote it. Your following, especially, I would recommend you to promote products that are in the same niche. Like if you do personal development coaching, if you do gardening, if you do car repairs, just do the products in the same kind of niche. Like for example, I do as well have affiliate program for my products, and so basically people can promote my classes and earn some extra cash, or make it as their own, like a full-time business. Because there are lots of people who actually, if you are access consciousness, if you are into access consciousness, then you can actually earn money by promoting their classes and their books and stuff. And there are people who actually make really good money from it. And they don't do anything else. That's just their business. You can write books. Now it sounds like somewhere out there, but there are lots of people who actually write books. I'm not sure really how much they actually earn unless they're really bestsellers, but there are still options to do that, and you don't really have to have a like a official publisher like it was like years ago. You can actually self-publish. Obviously, there will require a little bit of money to invest, but even with the self-publishing, you can just do ebooks. You can you can sell ebooks either on from landing pages and just promote the hell out of it, or you can actually create Kindle ebook and sell it on the Amazon, which lots of people actually do as well. And you can write book on any topic. You can write topic on one niche, things you like, or you just basically do a research and do the book on any topic you want. There was like a time, I'm not sure how, about 10, maybe 7, 8 years ago, when the ebooks were really popular. People just writing them uh, back, left and right, left and right. And you can write, and they even had like courses on how to write ebook, how to do research, how to promote it. And I'm sure if you are really into writing, you can actually get that out there. And you can actually, yeah, there are so many options now to do it. And you can, like, for example, uh, lots of books are not that very like one of the particular book I never really read it because I couldn't pass the first page. There were so many grammatical and spelling mistakes, and I was wondering how the hell the book actually got published. And the book became one of the biggest bestsellers, plus it made a couple movies out of it. I'm not going to tell which book it was. But honestly, I was so surprised. I was so surprised that the person, especially they made so much money from the books, that they actually didn't go to proper editor who actually like fixed the grammar errors and spelling mistakes. And so it's just up to you how far you how so wherever your imagination goes and beyond. And if you really like writing, there is and another thing about writing, if you really like writing, there is you can become a copywriter. There is a big market for those people. I'm not really one of those because I can write like 5 sentences for something and I think it's pretty good. And people earn really good money from copywriting because that is one of the most paid jobs online. Especially, you can actually earn like hundreds of $1,000s just doing copywriting, especially if you are really good at it. So yeah, if you really like writing, I would definitely recommend you to look into that niche. Then there is different skills that you can work as a freelancer. That's where I started as a freelancer. It's basically graphic design, it's video editing, audio editing. Those are the most common things and now it's as well app creation applications. And that's something as well. If you're a really technical person, that's the place where you can kind of get into. And people pay good money for that, especially for video editing. Now they have so many like really easy options to learn and to do, and they are not that complicated to learn as they used to be. Like if you are into that kind of stuff, audio video editing, I would recommend you to look into Adobe uh, Creative Cloud. They have really good options, and plus they're not only options. I personally use Filmora Wondershare for video editing and audio editing. I got myself Adobe Creative Cloud as well. They have something called After Effects and Premiere Pro, I think, for video editing, and something for audio editing, but I haven't actually looked at it yet because I kind of like at the moment Filmora Wondershare. And obviously Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign if you are into graphic design. InDesign is for if you're doing like prints, like banners, like actual printed banners that people use at the like expos and the posters and things like that. Illustrator if you're creating different graphics, especially vector graphics, and Photoshop if you are editing photos. Even though like Photoshop is much more than just photo editing software, because I'm using Photoshop for all my graphics. I'm getting a little bit into Illustrator and InDesign as well, but at the moment my priority is a Photoshop. And so yeah, what else can you do? It's basically you can sell physical products. You can either sell someone else's product, or you can actually sell your own product. If you are creating your own products, like if it's something crafty, not crafty, craftsy, I don't know what's the word. Like for example, if you do paintings, if you do, I don't know, like dream catchers, make your own clothes, pretty much anything that you can make with your hands and something that you can post somewhere else in the world. So that's what you can sell online. There are places like Etsy where you sell like jewelry and different crafty things, like home decors and something made from fabric, I don't know, clothes and scarves. And basically, if you have a hobby and you can make something really cool out of it, like a knitting or crochet or sewing or cross stitching, anything, you can sell it on Etsy. You can sell other people's products on places like eBay. You can do something like drop shipping. I'm not really that familiar with that business model. But it's basically you sell someone else's product and they actually post it. Yeah, and they post it for you. You just basically just promote it. I think something like all those MLM, multi-level marketing places, like I'm not sure, I don't know the names anymore of these places. So basically, you promote it, and it's it's something like affiliate business for the physical product. You basically get commission when someone buys it through your link and as well, so it is kind of affiliate. And another part of this drop it sounds so funny, drop shipping is when, if especially if you are kind of artsy and you create your own graphics, or you paint, or you're really creative with like visual stuff, you can actually create different designs and upload them online, like places like Printful, Redbubble, what else? Fine Art America, and you can upload your design, and people actually can buy your art that's printed or different canvas on on shoes or t-shirts or on mugs, pretty much anywhere that they can print it, they're gonna print it for you, and you can basically sell your designs. Different uh, different print, it's more like print on demand, yeah, print on demand places. And it's basically, it's really low cost business. There are some places where you have to pay before you get paid, in a sense that I think Printful does that. You basically, when someone orders a t-shirt with your design, you first pay for the t-shirt from your own pocket, and then when the customer pays to you, you get basically reimbursed plus the commission. But there are plenty of places like Redbubble, Zazzle. I'm not sure any others at the moment. You basically just upload your design, and someone buys. You do not have to actually pay anything. They just basically, when someone buys a product with your print, they actually send you commission. I think it's you have to reach certain amount, and then they send you the commission to your account, bank account or PayPal account. So these are the kind of few options where what you can do online, and there are loads of more. If you you can actually be a call center operator. If you're really like into the, if you don't have how to say, I don't know what the word, but yeah, basically call centers, and you can have a call centers for anything. There are like sales companies that where you can sell their products on phone, and they basically pay you commission for all the closed. I tried a little bit that kind of job, but I really didn't like it. It was really sketchy company I was with. So, and then there are semi-automated, like semi-online things you can do. That's you have to be in location for that to do, but that's what you have to investigate for your own location, because especially if you live in America, in United States, there are many places where you can actually work online, but you have to be available sometimes to drive to different locations, or you can do something from home. You basically have office and home, but you have to drive to meet clients and things like that. But that's what you have to kind of investigate in your own area. And that's good, especially if you have a car and something, and if you just don't want to constantly be living in your house. Like for example, I live in middle of nowhere, so most of the time I actually spend by myself at home. And so yeah, these are just kind of some of the options you can have to have a business online. And business is becoming more and more global and international, and you can actually create business out of anything. You just pretty much have to be available and ask questions. Like, what does it mean, ask questions? Like, if you are familiar with access consciousness philosophy, that you basically ask questions and then they create awareness. Because when I first started, that's what pretty much I did. I was asking questions and I was being curious, like, I knew all these kind of, I had all these skills, but I wasn't sure where to find it. So I was basically asking, like, who would like to hire me? Who would like to, who can I reach out to? Who knows someone who might require what I need? And ask for the people who require you but doesn't know yet. People who want what you have but they don't know you yet. Ask the universe to bring them to you. Ask them to kind of find you. Or maybe you can, because for me it was like when I started to ask these questions, I was like really getting curious and I was thinking, so I know these things, so there must be someone out there who needs what I have. And soon enough people actually started to pop, and ideas started to come in my head where I actually can post something out there and tell people this is what I do. And that's where I started. I put out there all the things I can do. I put my pricing option, and sorry, and I just put it on Facebook. This is what I do. I started commenting on other people's posts, especially when they were asking for something, for help, and that's that's where I started. I actually, yeah, it wasn't like this. I don't have a huge business now, but I have, it's bigger than it was 2 years ago, and it's totally different when it was years ago. And I started where I was. Even like for example today, I haven't decided that this is how I'm gonna be moving forward. This is how my business is gonna be. I'm every day I'm pretty much starting where I am and I'm moving forward because I have no idea how it's gonna be tomorrow. And that's what I'm really grateful to Access Consciousness and their tools, because they're helping me to actually move in direction that works for me. Because sometimes even when you put something out there, like when I first put the stuff, all the things I know how to do, I basically was doing them because I wasn't really sure what I liked and what I didn't like. And at the time I really needed just something to do to bring some money in. And after a while, I realized what things I like to do and what things I like to do just a little bit, and what things I really like to do and would like to continue. And then I just adjusted the list. And because I was learning new stuff, I was removing and adding things to it. And that's how it shaped my business, how it is now. And I really wonder how it's going to look in a year or two. So if you're not really sure what your options are, uh, just write down all the things that you can do and just start there, because you can't start anywhere else, just where you are at the moment. Okay, I'm gonna finish here today, and next week we're gonna talk where do you start. So basically we're gonna talk about all the places where you would like to go and how to actually get them, like what you need to start, for example, consultation business, what do you need to start freelancer business and things like that. And bring your questions, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye bye.